I think lo-fi might be one of the first genres to be completely taken over by AI, and the worst part about it is, I don't even think most people are gonna notice. Now this might sound crazy coming from me, someone who's built their entire career off of lo-fi and gotten hundreds of millions of streams from it, but the truth is, lo-fi generally is minimal, it's chill, it's laid back, it's background music. That's kind of the whole point of it. So realistically, if you take a step back from being a creator of it and think like a listener, it's not really made for you to pay full attention to it. So if AI can make the same vibe in 30 seconds and it gets playlisted anyway, what does that mean for real producers? I'm more than sure a bunch of Spotify editorial playlists are already flooded with AI music. I haven't tested this theory, but today we're gonna dive into it. And the first way to test this out is for me to get familiar with these AI tools like Suno and Udio. I think that's how it's pronounced. Make a lo-fi beat with it, see how it sounds, maybe compare it to one of mine, and then I'm gonna head over to Spotify, listen real close, and see if I can detect some AI. Because here's the thing, if I can go through a bunch of playlists and detect AI beats from ear, then that's actually a good sign. The real issue is if I can't detect it at all, because that means it's already as good as everybody else's, or as bad as everybody else's, because, you know, sometimes these playlists are just, you know what I'm saying? Let's not go there. Let's test it out. Okay, so this is Suno. I think this might be like one of the most popular ones. And let's just type an idea. Let's do something super basic like soft, chill, guitar, lo-fi, instrumental. Let's just see what that pops up. Okay, so they already did 2 tracks. Let's hear them. I hate to say it, but that's pretty fire. Damn. I genuinely thought it would be worse. Let's play another one. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the drums, but I'm often not a big fan of drums that I hear in the Spotify playlist either. But that was a lot better than I thought, I'm not gonna lie. Let's pull up one of my beats just on Spotify, so it's like similar quality. Do I have a beat that's similar? Let's see. Bonita has guitar. I mean, for me, the thing that sets it apart is clearly like the actual sound quality, but honestly, it's not that big of a difference. What's the most pop-in lo-fi playlist? Lo-fi beats. And let's just click one of these. I mean, this is banging. I'm familiar with Kupla though, so I know that's not AI. I mean, these are all real people. So I guess that's one tell you can see on Spotify about the artist. Okay, so let's try to see if we can replicate something like this though. How could we though? How could we? That sounds like something I would make. Let's see, custom? Oh, create your own song. Somber, lo-fi, instrumental with short bass line and let's say Rhodes with lots of swing. Let's see if that is enough to make something good, something that I would listen to or something that I would make. Which one is it? Midnight Reverie? Let's see. Damn, that's quick. That's quick. I mean, I hate that. At least I hate that. But let's see. Lots of swing, minimal chords. Let's do minimal chords. Maybe that fixes it. And that wasn't somber at all. Unless I don't know what somber means. What the fuck? Okay, it lost the plot. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign though. Okay, one of the main things I noticed is that the drums weren't top quality. They sounded kind of weird. Like the hi-hats and all the like higher frequency stuff didn't sound very good. That being said, lo-fi is lo-fi, bro. That's the whole point. Like it doesn't need to sound good. People are gonna put that on in the background while they're cooking, cleaning, whatever it may be. And as long as the vibe's on point, it's good to go. To the ears of someone just throwing on background music on Spotify, that's totally fine, bro. Totally passable. And for someone who hypothetically, please don't get any ideas, but I'm sure they're already doing it, who has the time and effort to like make a bunch of these, it's similar to ChatGPT. I use that a lot. And sometimes you really have to be specific with how you prompt stuff. I'm sure there are people who are going in here and getting their prompts down to a T that can really dial in and make something they like. So really, there are no real ethical ways to use this, I'd say, besides maybe just sampling it or something like that. And I don't even want to be cliche and say, oh, it sounds good, but it's soulless. You know what I'm saying? Because what really is the soul of music? There is like some kind of vibe you can get. At least for me, I'd like to think that I've kind of made my own lane within lo-fi. A lot of my music doesn't sound exactly the same to the previous song, you know? That's what people say when it comes to AI, like there's no soul to it, but like, come on, bro. Like for this genre, and not even just lo-fi, for like just piano music, ambient music, people are just putting it on in the background, bro. Like AI can definitely do that, and a lot of people won't notice. And here's the problem with that, right? Like lo-fi changed my life. TikTok, playlists, building a real fan base, like it really gave me everything. But now it can kind of start to feel like you are competing with the thousands of AI songs being uploaded and people that are just making specific music to try to game the playlist system. And it becomes like not so much about the music and more so about how fast you can hit upload and how many songs you can upload. And let's keep it a bean, I'm making like 1 or 2 beats a week here. AI just made like 1,000 while I'm saying this sentence right now. I recently saw a stat that nearly 100,000 songs are uploaded to Spotify a day. And about 87% of that doesn't really get any streams or earn any income. And while we can't really identify the percentage of those uploads that are AI, but like common sense tells me that a good percentage of it has to be AI at this point. I'm not sure if all these streaming platforms have restrictions on AI generated music or anything yet, but like if I'm Spotify, I'm making the AI music myself and putting it in the playlist, which is a pretty valid theory of something that could be going on, you know what I'm saying? But again, we don't need to go there today. Now, for those of you who knows me, I'm Mr. Optimism, you know what I'm saying? I see this stuff and it's not really something that gets to me or bothers me. It's not something that worries me about the future that much. At the end of the day, there are 2 justified reactions to this. Yes, 1, you can crash out, you can give up, you can try something else or whatever it may be. But all that tells me is maybe you weren't making it for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like for me personally, I started making lo-fi because I just gravitated to making chill music. And admittedly, I did see on Spotify that people were having millions of monthly listeners and barely any Instagram followers. So it seemed like this is something that someone could build a career off of. But that's just inevitable of something you would do when you are pursuing something, right? Like if I want to do this for a living, you got to find out a way to make money off of it. It's not the other way around, guys. I know I talk about streaming and virality and money and numbers all the time, but at the end of the day, if you didn't know this, if no one's ever told you this before, do not start making music to make money. It's possibly one of the, I don't want to say dumbest, but I just said it, dumbest things you can do. You know what I'm saying? So if this gives you gloom and doom and makes you not want to pursue music or not want to pursue making lo-fi, then maybe you were in it for the wrong reason and you should try something else. But me personally, this is just the music I like to make. And number 2, the second reaction, which is the one I'm having and which is the one I suggest you should have, is to go throughout your love for music or your music career that you're working on with originality in mind and personality. A lot of my fans are fans of L.Dre. They're fans of L.Dre's music. Though like a bulk of my streams do come from like algorithmic playlists and stuff like that, I've tried my hardest to build myself up as a like household name when it comes to lo-fi. Whether it's Spotify, my YouTube channel, my social media platforms, even when I work with brands, a lot of them are coming to me, like Ray-Ban Meta, for example, where they're thinking of cool campaign ideas. I'm the guy that can take a product and sample it into some chill kind of lo-fi beat to promote that product. So when it comes to like building a career and making income and all that kind of stuff, streams aren't my only source of income. I'm able to do brand deals. I'm able to sell sample packs and all that kind of stuff because I've built my name in the space by just being a hopefully trustworthy, if you guys would say that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, hopefully a trustworthy name in the producer space, in the lo-fi space. And that's why I've been able to build such a good foundation for myself. So that's what we all need to do regardless of AI. Because think about it, like at some point, all music was made with instruments. So imagine when like DAWs came around, imagine when Splice came around. There's been big debates about splice loops and all that kind of stuff. Like there's always going to be shifts. AI might be one of the most scary ones if I'm being honest, because they're literally creating shit out of thin air. But there's always going to be shifts in music, and no matter what, building your own personal brand and building your own fan base and getting people to fall in love with you as a person and as a personality and all that kind of stuff is really what is going to save you in the long run when people are just drowning out with AI stuff 24/7. So all that being said, is lo-fi hip hop going to be killed by AI? It's possible, but so is ambient. So is anything that is simple and easy to make. Like the whole instrumental space could be screwed if that's how you like to see it. But in my personal opinion, I believe that this emergence of AI music is really just going to shine a much more brighter light on real artists and people who put their personality at the forefront. If you think about any genre, like hip hop, for example, hip hop has recently become like the biggest genre in the past like 5-10 years or whatever. And there's a whole bunch of trash, a whole bunch of garbage, a whole bunch of doo-doo uploaded every single day. There's always been a bunch of competition that just isn't that great. But what makes Kendrick Lamar, for example, the greatest of all time, I would say, you know what I'm saying? I know there's some older people that are Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z. Kendrick, bro. Kendrick. But what sets the Kendricks and all the other artists that you may love apart from all the artists that you never even heard of is them, their bodies of work that they've built. You know, when you find some music you really like, you want to dive into that person. You want to dive into their catalog. You want to watch their interviews. You want to learn more about them. You want to go to their concerts. You want to do this and that. Now, that being said, when it comes to the instrumental space, that's not that big of a thing. You know what I'm saying? So take that with a grain of salt. I feel like I'm rambling at this point, but what I'm trying to say is the AI flood is coming whether you like it or not. And the only way to rise above the water is to be unapologetically you and have that at the forefront of everything you do. And I'd like to end this with a question. If you were listening to Spotify and you heard a song that you really liked, would you care if you found out that that song was generated by AI? Let me know in the comments. And if you do care about real producers making real music with actual emotion, maybe keep supporting humans. You know what I'm saying? Support your fellow human today. Peace.